Hey, I just want to show you what a typical day is like for Kennedy and with her homeschooling for Pre-k4. Every day she wakes up at 7:30. She has breakfast. We put her clothes on, we make her bed, we brush her teeth, and then usually at 8 o'clock is when we start, when we get all those other things finished. And at 8 o'clock we pick a place where she wants to do her school. Sometimes it's on the front steps of the house. Sometimes it's at the bar in the kitchen. Sometimes it's at the coffee table in the living room. Wherever she wants to do it. So that's what we do. We sit down. I lay all the stuff out, and then we pray. And when I pray with her, I make sure that she hears that I'm asking God to teach me, to show me how to teach her in a way that she can understand. So it's not just all about her learning, it's about mommy learning too, and mommy going through this with her. So I make sure that we do that. So the first things that we do right now, we just finished our first month, so we went over letters. We started out really slow just by reading a couple of chapter books and her listening, and now that we're getting into the letters, we do 2 letters a week. On Monday and Wednesdays, I introduce the new letter of the week. We go over Mommy A, Baby A. So this would have been done on Monday. This would have been done on Wednesday. Mommy B, Baby B. After we introduce the 2 letters, then I pull out this Bending book. Kennedy's grandparents actually found this book. Sorry, I have a hair on my lip. And it was great. It's awesome. It's like a 1-page letter deal, so it's not overwhelming for her. As you can see, she did a pink marker. She did a blue crayon, looks like. She chose a blue crayon to do her A's. At 4 years old, I'm not being very critical of her handwriting. As long as she's trying, I'm fine with that. We can worry about that next year and in first grade. And then we go over the sounds and what pictures go with the ah sound. Here's a look at her B page. So this would have been done on Mondays and Wednesdays after I introduced the letter card. After we practice this, go over the sounds. Then we bring out our Kumon books. These you can get at Target or you can order online. They have several different to choose from. And we do 4 pages of this. This is very simple, very colorful. So we'll do 4 pages of this. It does get harder as you go on. But this is reasoning. Then we do a tracing book just to practice those motor skills. Once again, you see there's a lot to choose from. And it starts off very easy, and then it gets harder. We also do 4 pages of these a day. And she loves these. So that would be Mondays and Wednesdays. For nap times, I will read a book, a chapter book. This is our favorite one right now, about a gentleman rabbit with a rheumatism crutch and a top hat, and he helps little children. We love these stories. We get on the bed, Audrey, Kennedy, and I, we all get on the bed and we read this, and we just have a fun time with this. Good book. At night, we do her catechism, which is questions and answers. So, can anyone keep the law of God perfectly? Since the fall of man, no human has been able to keep the law of God perfectly. We go over this. As you can see, we're on question 13. We usually do 1 question a week. and really go over it. Make sure she has it memorized. Sometimes it takes longer than others. That's okay. We're just learning about God. And then I will read a story out of the Lion Storyteller Bedtime book. This is almost like a virtues book. It has great stories in there about being nice to others and how to help out friends, and also has just a few of just kind of whimsical stories, kind of storytelling time kind of things. So we do this at night along with her catechism. Then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, we once again go back over her card, her cue card, whatever letter that we're on. Then we get out our highlights book. This is the highlights like you see the little magazines that will come in monthly that will have find a picture or stories in them. Really, really colorful. This is the kindergarten book, and couldn't find, they have the preschool, the kindergarten, and the first grade. I couldn't find the preschool one at our Walmart, just the kindergarten one. And so we're just working with it, just kind of picking and choosing. But it's so colorful. So on Tuesdays and Thursdays, after we go over our cue card, we will work on this book, and it has about 4 pages per letter. As you can see, she really tried, but Mama's not criticizing her as long as we're trying at 4 years old, and she's just 4 years old. She just turned 4 years old. And then we'll go through the pictures, see how colorful they are, see how entertaining they can be. She has great fun with these. She was supposed to draw a car here, and she started pretty good. You see, this one in the middle is her first car, and she drew the wheels. Well, then she got really creative, and then she drew me. She says this was Mama, and there's my arms, and then that in the middle was KK in Mama's belly. She loves hearing about KK being in Mama's belly. And then this was really neat. We had to go through here and find all the things that started with a C. And as you can tell, there was a lot of things that started with a C. Almost like 20 things. Crackers, crabs, coins, clowns, cages, compass, clocks, cows, calculators, cakes, canoes, just a bunch of things. So this is neat. So we'll do the cue card, then we'll do this, and then once again we'll do 4 pages of these 2 books. Then for nap time, I will read another Uncle Wiggily storybook, which usually puts her to sleep. And then bedtime, we do the catechism, going over our weekly question, and then the Lion Storyteller Bedtime book. These 2 books is part of a literature curriculum that tells you what books to get and and then spaces them out how to read them to your child. On Fridays is our review day. So what we'll do is I bought a $1 primary tablet. So on Fridays is our review day, and what I will do is I will take this $1 primary tablet that I got at Fred's, and I will write her name on every line and make her and I write it in highlighter, and then I make her go over it in pencil. As you can see, I have to make dots on where to start and stop, and usually she watches me on the first line. Once again, we're just kind of going through the motions with this, with handwriting. She's 4 years old. We're not looking for perfection here. And then she will go over her letters of the week and copy them with the Mama B, and the baby B, Mama A, baby B, A, and so forth. And so then I will, she'll go over that. Then I was so grateful that my sister bought us these books, these Bob alphabet books. And they're so conveniently 2 letters a book. So last week we went through her A and B book and looked through there and went through and made sure that we took her pencil and pointed to the words. So this week will be our C and D book. And they go through the whole alphabet like that. So that will be fun. And that will usually take up our day for Friday. Something fun that I like to do with Kennedy is the day that we're going over things, I let her choose her writing utensil. Sometimes she chooses her big fat pencil. This is, that's it. And I put a squishy finger guard on there, make it more attractive to her. So sometimes she chooses this. Sometimes she chooses a fat marker. And sometimes she chooses a thick crayon. I bought the thick crayons for her. I let her choose her life. So as long as she's doing it, we're good. Also on Fridays is usually our science day, and I don't read her literature books. What I read is a science, Bearstein Bears science and nature book. And we recently read about winter, and then we went outside and played with a piece of ice and going over different things about ice and doing little experiments about ice. Then we went over spring, and with spring, you know, it rains a lot. So, and it happened to be raining that day. That was nice. And we went outside and we played in the rain and made mud pies. It was great. So it was great that the weather was going along with our science book. So on Fridays we go over science with her. And this is just for right now. And when we're done with this book, I have some other books that we'll do. On Thursday is our poetry day. And instead of reading her literature books that night, I'll read her literature book for nap time, but for that night, we will go over poetry. And we will read about 6 poems. They're very short. So we will read about 6 poems, and usually the sillier the better. KK really likes the silly ones. She will laugh. And she likes her daddy to read these to her because he can be very animated. He's very good at speaking. I wonder why that is. So and then this is got to be the favorite. This is the favorite poetry book out of all of them. I'm sure we're going to read this many, 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 many times over. But this is also one of Audrey's favorite books. She loves to go through here and look. And this has also got some really silly ones. Let me turn the camera better. And they just have an awesome time just going through here. And usually what we'll do is we'll read 3 out of here, and then we'll pick 3 out of here. And it's usually the same ones over and over and over again. And because she has favorite animals, right now it's sharks. So we we'll usually read 3 out of here. Last night it was the giraffe. So, and then if Kennedy is just kind of bored, just kind of looking for something to do, I found this at Lifeway. It's a cut and glue, and it's for practicing her scissor skills. And I let her pick out what color scissors she wanted. So you just basically tear this out and hand it to them and tell them to cut on the dotted line as you watch them. Sometimes it makes little storybooks. Sometimes it makes puzzles. The one we did last week was a puzzle about Jonah and the whale. She had to cut it out and then put the puzzle back together. But this is just really neat. Reinforces some biblical traditions. This is bracelets. Here's Noah's Ark. This did come with scissors, but they were very cheap plastic scissors. She couldn't really cut with them, so we had to figure out something else to do. So that was that, and I got that at Lifeway in South Haven. And just her scissors, I made sure I got one with the guard on it for in case little sister gets her hands on these without Mama looking. So that's it. That's what we do in a nutshell. I think it's awesome. I think we finally found our groove. I'm really excited about what the year is going to look like for us. And I would like to do more videos and update monthly on new books that we're going to do because we're probably going to finish this pretty soon, probably by October, maybe middle of September. We're going to finish this book. We're already halfway through it. Mama and Daddy really like reading this book. It's really funny. So yeah. So just exciting times. We're excited for this process, and it's just going to be good. Kennedy likes it. We like it. She feels super, super smart. So it's a good deal. Thank you.